Hello and welcome to episode 193 of Daryl Show Your Work. In this episode, I'm going to be using Wireshark to detect a packet flood attack. All right, so before we get started, I just want to remind everyone to please check out INE's limited time deal on their cybersecurity, on their AI security specialist certification. All right, and it's a one of a kind deal, limited time deal. I think it ends on the 22nd of this month. All right. And what you get with that, you get exclusive discounted access to the learning path. You get exclusive discounted access to the associated test voucher. And then you get 3 months of premium access to the entire learning library. So that's red teaming related certifications and training, blue teaming related certifications and training. We're talking pen testing and different variations of it, web penetration testing, mobile penetration testing, junior level, senior level, and then you have on the blue side incident response, digital forensics, system administration, and so on and so on. Too many to list on here. All right. So, but to take advantage of this, um, go to get.ine.com/Daryl. Scroll down just a little bit. When you get to the page, you'll see the offer, and be sure to purchase, and you will not be disappointed because you'll be gaining the hand-on, in-demand skills that tons of cybersecurity employers are looking for these days. All right. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to open Wireshark. All right, so the following command allows me to do that, sudo Wireshark. All right, just have to give it my password here. Let me see, I had to remember my password. I believe it was, let's try this. All right. All right, so I am going to use network interface 30, ENS 32. All right, now that I'm on here, I'm gonna click the stop button because I don't want to actually record any live traffic. All right, so I'm going to actually be working from a PCAP file, which is a packet capture file. All right, then I'm gonna open that, and that should be saved to my desktop. And yes, the suspicious.pcap. All right, continue without saving. All right, so let me just maximize that. All right, so from here, let's go to statistics. And then from statistics, I'm gonna go to our protocol hierarchy. All right, let's expand that. All right, so this is where we can see which protocols have the highest packet count. All right, so since TSP, excuse me, TCP has the highest, let's investigate a lot more. All right, when I say uh, TCP, you may not see that specific, but I'm talking about this line right here. All right, so we can see that that actually has the um the highest count here. All right, of all the total. So this is the total amount of packets up here, and of all the packets, it has 94% of the packet count, which is 8,483. All right, so I'm going to begin searching for some common distributed denial service traffic patterns here. All right, so let's exit out of this, and since I'll be investigating TCP packet traffic, there are going to be two packet flood types that I'm going to be searching for. So it's going to be the send flood type, all right, which targets the TCP connection processes by sending a large number of connection requests without actually completing the TCP handshake. So those who are familiar with the TCP handshake is send, SYNACK, and then ACK. All right, so it's just going to send the first part of that. All right, so the typical indicators, they include a high number of SYN packets initiating connection requests, few completed TCP handshakes, and many of the connections that remain half open. So because the attacker never completes the handshake, the target system keeps resources reserved for incomplete connections, eventually exhausting available resources. All right, so that's typically how the SYN-ACK variation works. Now, for the second variation, which is the ACK flood, this involves sending a large volume of TCP packets with the ACK flag set, or when I say ACK, I mean acknowledgement. So typical indicators of that are what you would suspect: a large number of ACK packets, also ACK packets appearing without corresponding connection establishment, and unusually high volumes of traffic directed at the target. So this type of attack, it can overwhelm a network. It can overwhelm network devices such as firewalls, load balancers, or even servers by forcing them to process large amounts of traffic. So there's also, all right, which I'm not going to get into in this video. All right, we're just going to be sticking to TCP. But while I was on the subject, I'll be remiss not to mention the UDP plug variation. All right, and that overwhelms the target by sending a high volume of, as you would guess, UDP packets to random or specific ports. But again, that's beyond the scope of my investigation here, since again, my main focus here is on TCP traffic. All right, so I'm going to first apply a filter here. And first, I'm going to apply a filter that's going to isolate SYN packets and show where devices attempted to initiate connections. All right, so I'm going to say TCP flags. All right, and then I'm going to choose this one right here, the SYN flag, and then say equal to 1. All right. So if we look at the bottom here, you may or may not be able to see this. We can see that out of the 8,988 packets captured, that 450 of them have SYN flags. All right, which is a fair amount. All right, not a huge amount. All right, now, so, it's probably very unlikely that I'm looking at a SYN flood here, because that's fairly, even though those are a lot of packets compared to the overall 8,988, it's not a whole lot. So let's try the ACK variation of this filter and let's see what happens. All right, now if we look at the bottom here, now this number has changed and looks more like the initial number that we saw in that hierarchy with the TCP total amount of TCP packets. All right, which this is 8,463 packets. So the grand majority of the packets here are actually ACK packets. So I think it's fair to say that we could be looking at a potential ACK flood attack. All right, so this is a DDoS attack, but it's going to be the ACK variation of it. All right, now if I wanted to identify the most used IP address, I'm gonna go to statistics and a conversation. This is going to help deduce, where are the majority of these ACK packets going. And I'm gonna go to IPv4. All right, and so my IP address is listed as address B. All right, so we can see address A over here and address B. All right, so I'm 192.168.100.215. And the packet column, all right, over here, right next to address B, the packet column, it's going to tell me the amount of traffic exchanged with the IP address listed as address A in the very first column here. All right, so I'm gonna scroll through and I'm gonna focus on the packet column. All right, because we want to be able to see what address basically received the most packets. So right now, just looking at the stir column, nothing amazing is showing up so far. Ah, right here though, we got a winner. All right, so we looks like we have 7,384 packets. All right, that's out of the 8,000 988. 7,000 or 7,300 of those were sent to an address 138 199 37 25. All right, so this is more than likely the source of the DDoS attack, or rather the ACK flood attack going on here. All right, so also I could identify any sort of unique IPs here. All right, so I'm going to open up a second. Let me go back here to my terminal. And let's say let's open up a new terminal here. Okay, so I'm going to use T-Shark this time. All right, and what this command line that I'm going to write, what it's going to do, it's going to find a total number of unique IP addresses that sent SYNACK packets to my IP address. All right, so this is going to be kind of a long command, so bear with me. And if I goof this up too many times, I'll just paste it in here. All right, first we're going to put the SYN flag here. All right, ampersand, ampersand, and then I want to specify the ACK flag. Set that 1. All right, so this works similar to the filters that I use within Wireshark. All right, then I'm gonna specify the IP destination is my IP address, so we could just narrow down the full list. All right. All right, the IP source. Ah, go ahead and caught that. All right. All right, unique flag there. So again, that's going to help reduce it down to unique IP addresses. Give me a minute here. Put some space there. Oops. All right, so again, what this command line is going to do is going to, I'm using T-Shark to find the total number of unique IP addresses that sent SYNACK packets to my IP addresses, which is 192, 168, 100, 215. All right, so just checking my syntax here before I hit enter. Right. Yeah, act. IP destination. Okay, close. Fields, IP source. Okay, I should be good to go. All right, let's see what happens. Let's see, did I spell suspicious wrong? I knew it was going to be something. All right, let's see. I did spell suspicious wrong. Well, no, let me see. Did I spell it wrong? Well, that file definitely exists. Let's see. Hmm. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Why it's saying it doesn't exist? Oh, you know what I may have to do? I may have to change directories, and let me just switch to mine. Let me switch to desktop here, and that might be why it's not working. Okay. If I do a list, oh yeah, that's definitely spelled right. Okay, so let's try to run that command from here. That might be why. Yep. Okay, that's what the problem was. I needed to change directories. All right, so according to T-Sharp, there's 42 unique addresses. All right. So just to kind of break down what's going on this command line here. All right. So starting from the top of the command line, what the R switch does, this specifies the input file to read. All right, which we can see is suspicious.pcap. Dash Y, this applies a display filter. All right. So again, that works the same as it does in Wireshark as far as showing only the send packets, the ACK packets, and then those going to specifically to my IP address. All right. So the dash capital T field. All right. This outputs specific fields. All right. So IP source, and sorting them by you sorting them out, according to specific fields. All right. So then the dash E, this is what's going to define the field to be printed. All right. Like for instance, source IP. All right. And then the sort portion of that, this is what's going to arrange the lines alphabetically, and then the unique part of it, the UNIQ. All right. So this removes duplicate entries, and WC-L, this counts the lines. All right, so that's essentially what's going on, and that's how it was able to arrive at this number 42. All right, so this brings me to the end of my video. Just want to show some ways in which we could use both Wireshark and its command line cousin T-Shark in order to help identify not only distributed denial service attacks, but specific variations of it in terms of a send flood attack and or an ACK packet flood attack. All right. So what I've done here is I acknowledge, excuse me, I've analyzed the network traffic captured in the suspicious .pcap file to identify signs of potential DDoS attack and any sort of exploitation attempts. So the type of attack that I identified was the ACK flood attack, with the most active IP address being that 138.199.37.25 address. All right. So, however, there's 42 unique IP addresses, all right, that were identified by T-Shark as potential sources of the DDoS attack. So, meaning that the one, we know that one address, the grand majority of those packets are going there, all right, but it may not be the only source. So it could be, multiple sources, but we at least know that at least that was where what the primary source was coming from, because 7,000, what was it, 70, I think like 7,400 out of the overall 8,900 were coming from that address. All right, so please like, share, and subscribe. Most importantly, show your work. Please take advantage of INE's limited time offer, not only on its AI security specialist certification, but also 3 months access to its overall learning library. I promise you will not be disappointed. And until next time, take care of yourself and God bless.